Mercy Foundation is known throughout our area for proactively addressing the healthcare needs of our local children. You've seen their work over the last decade with the Healthy Kids Outreach Program. And now, another healthcare crisis has attracted their attention. A disease that affects children throughout Douglas County. Kids like Alex from Oakland, Savannah from Drain, and Cooper from Myrtle Creek. That disease? Type 1 diabetes.
It all started when Mercy Foundation President Lisa Platt received a call from the ESD nurse stating that a 9-year-old, after being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, tried to commit suicide. A week later, a 15-year-old did the same thing. And when I heard that news, I was devastated.
I've been the school nurse consultant since August of 2011. At that time, I think we had 8 kids in the county that we knew of, that I knew of, with type 1 diabetes.
Today, we have 70 families that have a family member that has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. The need in Douglas County for type 1 diabetes support keeps growing.
So when we eat, especially carbohydrate food, all of it turns into sugar. And the sugar stays in the bloodstream unless we have insulin to be able to pull it into the cells for energy. But with folks with type 1 diabetes, their bodies don't produce insulin. So they need to have insulin therapy given to them, whether it's an injection or perhaps a pump.
When I was 27, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And I cannot imagine what these kids are going through when they learn that they have diabetes.
When Savannah was first diagnosed with diabetes, we didn't really know the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes, and she was sick with what we thought was the flu.
Alex had frequent urination, he was drinking quite a lot, and then he had the stomach flu and he had it quite often.
One of the first things we noticed with Cooper was he was drinking constantly. He kept throwing up too, like he was on a field trip and he threw up.
We were told by the doctor to go over to the ER, and from there we were taken up to OHSU for treatment.
And so we took him to urgent care, they poked his finger, and the next thing we knew, we're in the emergency room at Mercy Medical Center, waiting for a bed to open at Dornbecker's.
She ended up being extremely diabetic dehydrated, had to go over to the emergency room, and then be life-flighted up to Dornbecker.
Primary care providers, pediatricians in Douglas County do an awesome job taking care of their patients, but they're not specialists in diabetes. So what ends up happening is our families need to travel up to Portland to be able to get this kind of intensive care. And that makes it difficult when you have to get off work. It's expensive to travel up and back. Kids are having to take time out of school, parents off of work.
That is a real burden for some of these families.
So yeah, we have to stay in a hotel. It's just not safe to be getting up that early and driving when you're already waking up in the middle of the night to check blood sugars.
Seeing the challenges these families face, the Mercy Foundation, partnering with Mercy Medical Center, Evergreen Family Medicine, Douglas County ESD, and the Cow Creek Tribe, have come up with a plan to increase type 1 support, education, resources, and services to our area. The first phase of this plan is already in motion, a resource group called T1D, Beyond the Diagnosis.
Our support group, Beyond the Diagnosis, meets once a month. We alternate between an educational piece every other month, and then every other month we have a fun event for the kids, so we'll go swimming or bowling.
We really wanted to empower families, to give them a platform to be able to meet with one another.
It has been amazing, the results that we have gotten.
The second phase of the plan has also been realized. With support from community partners, People with type 1 diabetes now have access to specialists right here in Douglas County. Dr. Michael Racine, a pediatric endocrinologist, and Emma Spear, a diabetes educator.
We are partners because we believe that children with diabetes should be able to get the help that they need and the counseling they need and not have to travel all the way to Portland to go to OHSU.
In 2022, we started offering a day camp in the summer. We do some T1D education. We offer some fun activities. One of the most positive things the kids get from coming to camp is the peer support. Being able to connect with other kids and realizing that they're not alone. It helps their mental health. It helps them to realize that, people do understand and they aren't alone and they get the support they need.
To see how we are affecting these families is amazing, and we need to continue. And with your support, we can do that.
Thank you for your generosity and continuing to support these families in their battle against type 1 diabetes.